and
And
adults.
what about the kids that are highly sensitive, but really lacking the empathy, like more on the spectrum kids that are so sensitive to energy, so sensitive to all the emotions, taking all the energy in, and yet they don't really have that empathy.
So my
They're
theory,
code breakers, and
yeah, my theory is that they really do have extreme empathy. They
okay.
just don't know how to, they don't use the same emotional, behavioral, or verbal cues in
Mhm.
conversation that we do. Um,
Okay.
and one of the people that, if you haven't been following her, that you might be interested in is a woman named Susie Miller.
Yes, I have. You told me about her, and someone 3 years before had told me about her, and I'd dropped her name out. And so I
Awesome.
have, okay.
Yeah. And she does a lot of this work with autistics and nonverbals and teaching them, hearing them telepathically and understanding what they have to say, and then sharing with professionals and parents and communities and so forth. And so she talks a lot about that, about how they really are just as empathic as we are. But,
Okay.
Whether it's verbal or behavioral or emotional comment, they don't know how to converse it. And it's so big, it's so incredibly whelming that they shut it down and shut it out as much as possible.
Yeah.
So they're not as overwhelmed.
Yeah, I've had a couple students, and I remember talking to the mom. I said, your daughter, she's very, very sensitive. And she's like, she's not sensitive. She said, all the coaches say she's uncoachable, unteachable, stubborn, defiant, willful. But, after working for a few years, like same thing. I think she shut it down because she was so
Mm-hmm.
sensitive. And she does have that strong will to not take in the programming. But when she writes
Yes.
about animals, it is so heart moving, it brings me to tears
Yes.
all the time. So I think
Yeah.
she constantly gets misinterpreted
Well
and
put. Yeah. How can we
labeled.
think that she's not empathic when she can be so totally aligned with nature and
Right.
goodness and rightness and nature and animals?
Um, and I don't know, do you know Mary Rodwell?
Again, sounds familiar. Don't think I
Mary
know her.
Rodwell wrote these
I'm
books,
writing her name down.
The New Human, about kids. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've heard of this one.
Um,
And no, I've not read it.
Okay, it's really good. So I happen to be doing this, I think I was talking about it on our call, is called
I
the
think so
IC
too.